Born to better, purpose and house-like conditions. When we hear the name Moses, we often think about the wilderness. We think about the 40 years he spent leading the Israelites through a desert with no food produced by mankind. We think about the burdens he carried, the challenges he faced, and how after all those years, he still did not enter the promised land. The Stoics would call this amor fati, love of fate. It is the ability to acknowledge and accept reality that some things in life are outside of our control. But before we talk about Moses in the wilderness, we have to look back to where the story begins. This is when Moses was born. Moses was not born into comfort, he was born into conflict. He was born during a time when the Israelites were living under oppression in Egypt. Pharaoh saw that the Israelites were multiplying, and he became afraid that they would become too powerful. The more Pharaoh oppressed them, the more they continued to grow. Fear began to control his decisions, and when fear takes over, people often respond with destruction. So Pharaoh gave an order. Every Hebrew boy who was born was to be thrown into the river Nile. Imagine being born into a world where your first breath was placed under a target. Imagine entering this world where your identity determined your danger. This was the environment Moses was born into. If nature had taken its course, Moses would never be a leader. He would never have stood before Pharaoh. He would never have delivered the Israelites from slavery. But sometimes the conditions around your birth do not determine the purpose of your life. They only reveal the strength that will be acquired to fulfill it. A mother's faith. The Bible tells us that Moses' mother hid him for 3 months. Think about the pressure she must have felt. Every cry could reveal his location. Every moment could risk being captured. Every day required courage, but courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the decision to move forward, even when fear is present. Eventually, she could no longer hide him, so she built a basket, covered it with protection, placed Moses inside, and set him on a journey, the river Nile. Think about that for a moment. She placed her child into the same river Pharaoh intended for death. She had reached a point where she had to release what she loved into something she could not control. The Stoics teach us that some things are within our control, and some things are not. Moses' mother could control the basket. She could control her preparation. She could control her faith. She could control her courage, but she could not control the current. She could not control the dangers in the river. She could not control who would find him. And sometimes in life, we reach moments where we have done everything we can do, and the only thing left to do is trust in God with what we cannot control. Some assignments are divine. They are not always in our hands. The river that should have ended his story was carrying him down the Nile. The same river that was supposed to destroy him became the place where his life changed. The basket eventually reached the place where Pharaoh's daughter was bathing. The family that created the order to destroy him became connected to the person who would save him. The home of the oppressor of his people became the place where Moses would receive his education. This is one of the mysteries of faith's purpose. Sometimes the very environment that was meant to break you becomes the environment that prepares you. Pharaoh's daughter opened the basket and saw a child. She heard him crying, and instead of ignoring him, compassion moved her. She took Moses in, she protected him, she raised him, she educated him. The river that should have ended his story became the beginning of his journey. What do we learn from this? Many people look at their beginnings and believe their beginnings define them. They look at where they are born, they look at what they do not have, they look at the struggles around them, and they begin to believe that their circumstances are their destiny. But Moses teaches us something different. Your beginning is not your boundary. You may have been placed in difficult situations, but that does not mean you are placed there without purpose. Some people are still carrying anger about the environment they came from, still hurt by the parent who was absent, still affected by the struggle their family faced, still carrying the weight of what happened before they had any control over it. Moses teaches us that we are not responsible for the river we were placed in. You are responsible for who you become while you are in the river. Moses survived because someone had faith. Someone protected him. Someone carried him. Someone was willing to let go and trust that God had a plan. And many of us can look